20 vocab words that you will see on the real estate exam. We're back in the lab. We haven't done real estate vocabulary in a while, so we're doing it today. We've got 20 words, 20 definitions. I'm taking it like a quiz. It's a matching quiz. Take it along with me. See if you get them all right. We're studying for our real estate exam in 2025. We want to pass before the end of 2025. Subscribe to the channel if you want more vocab words, more test questions, more real estate concepts, and more general knowledge to help you pass the real estate exam. Let's get into the vocab words. All right, here we go. We're doing real estate national plus California. I know it says California, but don't be scared. It also is national, so whatever state you're in, this should help you out. The category is property ownership and land use controls and regulations. I think this is one of my more difficult ones, so we'll see how it goes. There's going to be 20 words, 20 definitions. We're going to try to match them up, and then we'll see at the end how many I got right and how many I got wrong. So we're going to jump right into it. Executor, executrix, mechanics lien, easement and gross, lis pendens. A person appointed in a will to carry out the provisions of the will. I want to say that's executor slash executrix. An easement that benefits a person or company rather than benefiting another parcel of land. Probably an easement and gross. Sometimes they include the words definition in the actual word. Or sorry, the word in the actual definition. So it makes it a little easier. A recorded notice which states that there is a lawsuit pending that may affect title to the defendant's real estate. That would be a lis pendens. A specific lien claimed by someone who performed work on the property, construction, repairs, or improvements and has not been paid. That's going to be mechanics lien. We're going to check it. We want to see 4 thumbs up, 4 green thumbs up. Boom. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nice. 4 for 4. We're blasting right through these. We have grantee, easement by prescription, general lien, and a covenant. An easement created by open and notorious hostile and adverse use of another person's land for a specific period of time determined by state law. Prescriptive use does not have to be exclusive. The owner may be using the property to. The user does not acquire title of the property. So that one's probably easement. It's an easement by prescription. We know prescriptive use does not have to be exclusive. So I'm guessing this is probably like, I don't know, rental of a notorious, hostile, and adverse use of another person's land. Oh, so if it's hostile. So if someone's on your land, then it's not good. A lien against all property of a debtor instead of a particular piece of property. That's going to be a general lien. That's all property. A contract, a promise, a guarantee, express or implied in a document such as a deed or lease. A restriction. Typical restrictions compel or prevent certain actions by the property owner or uses for the property. A person receiving a grant of real property. So that would be grantee, and this is a covenant. So a covenant is a contract, a promise, a guarantee, express or implied in a document such as a deed or lease. A restriction. Okay. We're looking for 4 thumbs up. 4 for 4 again. We're 8 for 8 on the day. We're blasting through these. We're going next. Condemnation, specific lien, encroachment, mortgagee. A physical object intruding onto neighboring property, often due to a mistake regarding the boundary. Probably encroachment. A lender who accepts mortgage as a security for repayment of the loan. Except that's probably the mortgagee. Taking private property for public use through the government's power of eminent domain, also called appropriation, a declaration that a structure is unfit for occupancy and must be closed or demolished. I think that's condemnation. A lien that attaches only to a particular piece of property as opposed to a general lien, which attaches to all of the debtor's property. So we just had general lien, which is everything. Specific is obviously specific, not everything. We're looking for 4 for 4. I know we're going through these fast. Remember, these are real estate sales national plus California, property ownership and land use land use controls and regulations. We're going to check it. And we're 12 for 12. Before we move on, if you guys want your own set of vocabulary words like this, your own set of test questions, your own real estate exam prep, There was a link below to the description to this exact same setup. If you guys like this, if you guys like the matching, if you guys like the test questions that we have, use the link below. We have a coupon code Burke 40% off everything on the website. You can also get your prerequisite courses for any state that you guys are in, not just California. Click the link below. Help support the channel. Thank you guys for watching. Let's move on to the next vocab. All right, we're back here. Easement by implication, easement by express grant, easement by express reservation, general warranty deed. Okay, so we have 3 different easements here. So this one might be a little tougher. A deed in which the grantor warrants the title against any and all defects that may have arisen before or during their period of ownership. That's probably a general warranty deed. An easement granted an easement granted to another in a deed or other document. Okay. An easement created by operation of law, not express grant or reservation when land is divided. If there was a long-standing apparent use that is reasonably necessary for enjoyment or of the dominant tenement. So it's not express and it's not reservation. This is implication. Sometimes you have to use the context clues of the other vocab words. An easement created in a deed when a landowner is dividing the property, transferring the servient tenement, but retaining the dominant tenement. I want to say that one would be reservation, and this one is easement by express grant. An easement granted to another in a deed or other document is easement by express grant. Easement by express reservation. Let's just check it before we read them off. All right, 4 for 4. So we're 16 for 16 on the day. We have 4 more left. Let's go over these easements real quick again, though. Easement by express grant, an easement granted to another in a deed or other document. Okay. Easement by implication, an easement created by operation of law, not express and not reservation when land is divided, if there was a long-standing apparent use that is reasonably necessary for enjoyment of the dominant tenement. So it's implied that you had the easement because you are necessary enjoyment of the dominant tenement. And then we have the express reservation, an easement created in a deed when a landowner is dividing the property, transferring the servient tenement, but retaining the dominant tenement. All right. The last 4 of the day. We have deed restriction, encumbrance, easement by necessity, and probate. A restriction on real property use imposed by a former owner promised to do or not to do an act relating to real property. Usually owners promise to not use property in a particular way, may or may not run with the land, also called restrictive covenant. I think that's deed restriction. Like there's weird ones where it's like you cannot paint the house yellow. Stuff like that. A special kind of easement by implication that occurs when the dominant tenement would be completely useless without an easement, even if it is a long-standing apparent use. So we know that's the easement by necessity. So we've had like 6 different types of easements in this one. So maybe we need to go back and study our easements. That seems to be a pretty relevant subject for the exam. Any claim, lien, charge, or liability that affects or limits the fee simple title to real property. I'm going to go with an encumbrance. A judicial proceeding in which the validity of a will is established and the executor is authorized to distribute the estate property, or when there is no valid will, a judicial proceeding in which an administrator is appointed to distribute the estate to heirs according to the laws of intestate succession. That would be probate. You don't want to go to probate court. You want to have a will or a trust. But if you don't, then you go to probate, and then they will establish an executor to basically give out the property. We're going to check it. 4 for 4. Again, I think we were, what were we? 20 total questions, 20 correct. So 20 for 20 today. Nice little day today. We've been having trouble with the real estate test questions, the practice questions. But the vocab seems like we're doing pretty good on. Now let's get back to the lab. Thank you guys so much for watching. A nice little 20 out of 20 vocab session today. Come back next week. We'll have test questions again. We just wanted to switch it up a little bit. Please subscribe if you want more test questions, more vocab, more concepts. And if you want to pass the real estate exam with me in 2025, this is your channel. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day.